Explain clearly that a player must not use any equipment or wear anything that is dangerous to himself or any other player, including jewellery, and tell him to leave the field until it's removed. If the player is convinced you are discriminating against him, he can write to the FA. You should also report the matter so that the club can be reminded of their responsibility to ensure their players conform to law. Welcome back to the Ref Show. Looking forward to a bit of birthday cake before the end of this section. Anybody?
It must be me.
It must be you.
It must be me,
Well,
yeah.
you brought the cakes in. Brought a cake in.
Happy birthday.
I thought you'd bring me cake.
You. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, no,
But we didn't know.
I generally don't celebrate after you're over 50, do you? So,
No, you don't.
I know you haven't got there yet.
52
No, I know.
today.
I know.
He's 52 today.
No, yeah.
I'm not
Look,
going
62.
I'm not going to celebrate my 50th, no. But
No, I know.
you're just over that mark. Have we known, Ian? By the way, very
We
happy
had a
birthday.
cake. Thanks
We
very
would
much.
have brought a cake in.
Fabulous.
And
Don't
maybe,
need it.
Maybe something,
I'm
something
glad
else
you
as
said
well.
that. See if I can give me a dig.
All right. West Brom against Derby. It's been a better weekend for referees in the FA Cup, as Mark has said in the first half. One of the Premier League teams going out, and there were a few, West Bromwich Albion against Derby County. 2-1, second goal from a great free kick from Tom Ince, but it raises a talking point. John Moss was in the middle. Tony Pulis took issue. He said that, now, I don't know if managers actually count out the paces that referees take for free kicks, but Tony said that John Moss took 13 paces to measure the free kick when he normally took 10, or was it 11? What do you think?
It was measured out. I mean, I have to say, I used to do the same. I used to measure out 11 yards because I know the players would come forward. So they always come forward. But now there's no excuse because you can't do that because you've got the spray. So you count out 10 yards and the spray goes down. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. He's clutching his straws.
It
did look a long way away.
It was 11 yards, and they somehow measured it.
I think there'd be a lot of frustration for Tony. He thinks they're in a great position in the league.
Yeah.
Thought they'd maybe get through that. So Derby maybe looking at maybe a playoff spot now, which you wouldn't have seen that. But I mean, the thing is, he'll have looked at that video. He probably has made 13 steps. I mean, it's silly. As Mark says, if it's 10 yards, it's 10 yards. Yeah. My view is must be. You think about all the technology. You must be able to just have a little something on your watch that makes 10 yards. You know what I mean?
Every referee will have a different stride pattern, different stride length, and they will know what the correct measurement is on their number of.
I understand where Tony's coming from but it's not really a relevant point to the referee. I think there should be a standardised. Because if you're a yard further back, that does maybe allow maybe one free kick in 10 to go in that would not. Maybe 1 in 20. So the minutiae details is what good managers deal with. But it's not really why they lost the game. You know what I mean? It's just, and it's not really his fault. I mean, I'm not the biggest admirer of John Moss, the referee, if I've got to say. But I'm not going to, he shouldn't certainly be criticised for that. Maybe he's got pigeon steps if he's made 13 of them, so it's what it is. I mean, Tony's moaning for because he can.
Also, late in a game like that, is your step slightly different as tiredness kicks in? I don't know. Anyway, we're saying it's a very small point. All right.
But I just think on that point though, my view is it should be 10 yards. So I'm not being funny. Have something on you where you walk 10 yards till it beeps and you stop where you are and do it. Now what I mean is the difference, because some are 8, some are 11.
I tell you what we should do now is put a tape measure in the referee's pocket.
I'm talking about everything else. Well, Ian's quite right.
Listen, it's 10 yards, it's 9.51 metres, and it should be that.
It's not high tech for a little beep to go off, is it?
Well, that's what you do.
That's what you're saying.
But you do it in a house, you push it against the wall and you get a beat back, don't you? Exactly. I'm not being funny, and then you standardise. When the line's down on it, it's not. Years ago when there wasn't that thing, that'd be difficult. But now you put in that line of thing, it should be bang on.
So everybody will be watching John Moss's pace out free kicks next week.
Let's go back to Friday night briefly. No doubt whatsoever, landslide victory for Manchester City at West Ham by 5-0. But the first goal was an enduring talking point, and pundits in studios pored over it over and over again. Was this a penalty? The first to City. I've got debatable question mark down there. What do you think?
No.
You say it wasn't a penalty?
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
You're a striker.
I like the referee, by the way. He's good, yeah. I think he's very good.
Michael Oliver.
I mean, I just think it's one that gets... I mean, is this... Ashley Young gets pilloried for doing exactly the same in a more obvious fashion. But to be fair, it's clever. Yeah, very clever. And he draws the contact.
He does. But the West Ham player doesn't make any
He doesn't make any try. His foot's planted. He hasn't... It's a difficult one.
It is.
I mean, my view is, it's all right, we all look at it 20 times. My view is, at first glance, I didn't think it was. No. But then I've had ones that I've looked, I thought, hey, what Stonewall, like the one you just talked about, Wimbledon, he's done a brilliant decision. I think he's probably soft. Yeah. Does that change the outcome of the game? No, it doesn't. No, it's my team, West Ham, they were getting ripped.
Yeah. I thought you were a QPR fan.
No, West Ham fan.
But looking at that, I mean, in real time, I mean, Michael's in a great position, and in real time, it most probably it looks a penalty, doesn't it? But I mean, you look at you throw it on the other. You look at Stroudy's decision. Yeah. But I think it's harsh. I think had he not given it, I don't think there'd been any complaints. No. Because players' reaction, I know a lot of times you shouldn't go on player reaction, but player reaction by Sabaleta said it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, it's a problem. This strikers cleverly inducing this contact, isn't it? It's a problem in the game. It's a problem for referees.
Well, it is. I mean, you go back to the midweek fixtures, Palace and Swansea, where Benteke and Fabianski come sliding out. Now, if Benteke doesn't take evasive action, he gets wiped out. So he can still give a penalty.
Yeah. So, I mean, are we seeing too soft a penalty given? The kind of thing that wouldn't be a free kick outside the box sometimes, just because there is, quotes, contact.
Listen, Iain knows, just because there's contact, it doesn't mean to say it's a foul. You know, it's a contact sport, isn't it? And we don't want to take that contact out of it.
But it seems to me in the penalty area, we're in danger of taking contact out of it, because the slightest contact, a player's going to say there was contact.
Well, but he done really well yesterday, actually, Mike Dean, in the game of Spurs. Grealish twice threw himself to the floor without contact, and should have booked him in my opinion. And he's trying to say the other lad was giving it that about Jack Grealish was talking about giving the cut. One, Carter Vickers didn't even touch him.
He's learnt from the West Ham Man United game. Yeah. Don't go looking for trouble.
Yeah, no.
Just leave it.
No.
Well, let's have a look at Andre Mariner, who's, by common consent of the experts, yourself including Mark, has been in a good run of form. Manchester United 4, Reading 0. Now, in this one, the Ashley Young challenge.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear Ian's view, because at the moment, for me, I mean, as an ex-referee and as a fan, I'm confused about challenges. What's a caution? What's not a caution? What's a record? And I think the referees are confused because of the leadership and direction. Now, I'm going back into midweek. Michael, a good referee. I thought he had a terrific game in the first half at Bournemouth Arsenal, and the sending off for Francis. Now, for me, that's not a red card. I don't think that's a red card. Yeah. The one where Francis.
That should have been a yellow, shouldn't it?
For me, a yellow card.
Not sure. You think it was a?
No. I'm very much in the school of trying to live, but it's a.
Go to the Vardy challenge where he was pushed into it. That wasn't a red card.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I do think Francis might be the scissor motion for me. Right. You know, I know what you mean. I mean, listen.
But then we look at challenge. You look at Young's challenge. Now, for me, I thought that was more of a red card than what the Francis challenge was.
And then you've got the lottery of the appeal system, because Simon Francis's one was appealed by Bournemouth, and they backed the referee on that.
So. It all depends. But I think there's a problem with the appeal process with who sits on the panel, because I think there's about 20 different people that can sit on that panel, and they choose 3. For me, it's got to be the same 3 people for consistency throughout the season. Throughout the season.
That's a fair point. And by the way, congratulations to Wayne Rooney, Manchester United's record goal scorer, alongside Sir Bobby Charlton. Whatever anybody says about Rooney, that is fantastic. Well, 249 goals.
And England's top goal scorer. I mean, it's amazing people still trying it. I mean, people. You know what amazes me? The sheer volume of football that Wayne Rooney's played. People say he's not. Well, why would he be? You play that many games, score that many goals.
Listen, I used to think he's a fantastic player. He used to love refereeing him.
Do you know what I think as well? I mean, everyone talked about. I think he's developing. You hear him talk now. He's much more eloquent. I think he's done a lot of great things since. You know, he's a young lad, and we all make them things. He'll be a great ambassador for United, and I think he's a key element. And do you know what? I think he's good in the dressing room now.
And just quickly before
we go, he's a great example to the professional and any young player that's coming through.
So say all of us. Mark Clattenburg final. I noticed that I looked around for the referees list, got 1 or 2 wrong, as you know, but I was looking for Mark Clattenburg's name, and I couldn't find it. The FA Cup 3rd round. Why is that?
I have to ask Mark, but I think he's had a busy schedule over the festive period. He got referee of the World Referee of the Year. He's been out to Dubai, so perhaps he just needed. He's been doing a lot of travelling. Perhaps he just needed a break.
Just strikes me, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I wouldn't have thought there's too much love lost between Mark Clattenburg and the FA at the moment. Anyway, that's...
Good referee.
He's the best, and perhaps...
And good person.
Perhaps,
yeah. Okay, and so are you two. So are you two. Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Iain, and a happy birthday. Thank you so much for coming in on your birthday. And thank you to you, and do rejoin us for another Ref Show next week. See you then. Bye.